Good afternoon, everyone. Malama Manoa. Malama Manoa. It's Friday, April 18th, 2025. It's afternoon, Friday afternoon. Human beings achieve greatness only to the extent that they manifest high principles. Human beings achieve greatness only to the extent that they manifest high principles. That was said by Swami Kriyananda. The highest principles an individual can attain is being of service to others. The highest principles a nation can reach are being of service to its citizens and to other nations. Not isolating, not imposing tariffs, not causing harm and dragging everybody down. I believe in nonviolence. I believe in peace, nonviolence, and righteous anger. I'm angry, and you should be too. We are descending. We're not ascending. We should be ascending. The United States is one of the greatest nations ever to exist on planet Earth. And we are destroying ourselves and taking many people with us right now. Over 170 million are on the verge of starvation in places like Gaza, Sudan, the Congo, and other places where it's not like massive starvation. I'm Clyde McLean McLuhan, former Democratic candidate for the United States Senate of Hawaii and a potential gubernatorial candidate or U.S. House Representative candidate in 2026. There sits Ikai, my trusted, loyal companion. I'm reading off my website, mac808.com. I will fight for greater native Hawaiian rights, including greater autonomy and sovereignty, which would encompass dual citizenship. I will also advocate for a unicameral legislature for Hawaii, similar to Nebraska. We don't need a House and a Senate, just one branch, one House, as well as for the expansion of neighborhood boards. I'm on the Manoa Neighborhood Board. These are grassroots. Neighborhood boards, which are grassroots of a democratic participatory governance. Democracy is governance from the people upward, not from elected officials downward. The United States is not a democratic government. It is a representative government where the representatives, it turns out, represent the party first, themselves second, and the people somewhere after that, if at all. This is not how it was intended to be. A kingdom nation. As an independent kingdom nation, Hawaii can control its own destiny. Hawaii desperately needs an immigration policy to prevent overcrowding, gentrification, and continual stress on the Hawaiian environment. The United States, this is a big one, needs to purchase all privately held land for the monarchy based on tax-assessed values. And the kingdom should lease it back in perpetuity to the original owners. Nobody owns the land. Nobody. That's the way it used to be. That's the way it needs to be. All Hawaiian citizens will have dual citizenship with the United States. The form of democracy, the form of a monarchy, is yet to be determined. A monarchy can be inherited, elected, or appointed by the native first people. The monarchy can act like a president vetoing or approving, as an observer, advisor, or as a dictator. Green tea. Neighborhood board members discuss issues among themselves with public participation, and the members vote on resolutions and include the minutes of each meeting, which are then put up for all officials, so that all officials can see these, and everyone else can see them too. I have to change that writing of that paragraph. When a board position is available, neighborhood citizens can volunteer to run for the position, and each volunteer is allowed 3 minutes to tell why he or she should be on the board. And when the board members vote, it's not a oh, God damn it. I'll start over. I was doing so good. I thought I was. Aloha. Aloha, everyone, and good afternoon. It is Friday, April 18th, 2025. Human beings achieve greatness only to the extent that they manifest high principles. Swami Kriyananda. You do not achieve greatness by dominating people. There has to be high principles. The highest principle an individual can attain is being of service to others. The highest principles a nation can reach are being of service to its citizens and to other nations. I believe in peace, nonviolence, and righteous anger. I'm Clyde McLean McLuman, a former Democratic candidate for the United States Senate of Hawaii and a potential gubernatorial candidate or U.S. House of Representatives candidate in 2026. And that's Ikai snoozing on the couch. I will fight for greater Native Hawaiian rights, including greater autonomy and sovereignty, which would encompass dual citizenship. I will also advocate for a unicameral legislature for Hawaii, similar to Nebraska, as well as the expansion of neighborhood boards, which are the grassroots of a democratic participatory governance. Democracy is governance from the people upward, not from elected officials downward. The United States is not a democratic government. It is a representative government where the representatives represent their party first, themselves second, and the people somewhere after that, if at all. This is not how it was intended to be. A kingdom nation. As an independent kingdom nation, Hawaii can control its own destiny. Hawaii desperately needs an immigration policy to prevent overcrowding, to prevent gentrification, and continued stress on the Hawaiian environment. The United States needs to purchase all privately held land for the monarchy based on tax-assessed value, and the kingdom should lease it back in perpetuity to the original owners. That's a big one. It costs a couple of trillion. But the United States is 36 trillion, so what's a couple of trillion? Nobody needs to own the land. People buying islands, hundreds and thousands of acres of land in Hawaii will stop very quickly. The military will retain revised land use privileges. All military agricultural land will be used to produce food crops in agricultural communities when not in direct use by the military. There is so much land that is set aside for the government and the military that could be growing food. All Hawaiian citizens will have dual citizenship with the United States. The form of monarchy is yet to be determined. A monarchy can be inherited, elected, or appointed by the native first people. The monarchy can act like a president, vetoing or approving, or as an observer or advisor, or as a dictator. Everyone 18 and older will have the right to vote for the unicameral Senate or Parliament seats. Unicameral meaning there is no House of Representatives. The king or queen, the monarchy will partly fill that role. But a unicameral, like in Nebraska, is made up of senators only. They are responsible for their districts, and that's where they get their votes, and that's where they promote their candidacy. Okay. Elected senators can belong to any party, but once elected, their oath does not include loyalty to a party, but rather only to the people and to the body to which they have been elected to. On neighborhood boards, there is no party affiliation. I have no idea what other board members, what party they belong to. It's not necessary. We have issues, we have topics, we have resolutions to discuss and vote on, and there's never a mention of Democratic or Republican sides to the issue or the question. The neighborhood board, is not interested in what a party thinks, but only the thoughts and ideas of the board members and the public that comes to the meetings. Neighborhood board members discuss issues among themselves with public participation, and the members vote on resolutions and include the minutes of each meeting, which are then passed upward to all officials and are available online for everyone to see. When a board position is available, neighborhood citizens can volunteer to run for the position, and each volunteer is allowed 3 minutes to tell why he or she should be on the board, and then the board members vote. It's not a multi-billion dollar process of propaganda. Kamehameha Public School, the Kamehameha Public School system. No private church or charter schools. Kamehameha Public Schools are homeschool only. All teachers come together under the Kamehameha Public School leadership. No one loses their teaching job. All are needed to create the best school system in the world, moving away from materialism, striving for money, striving for economic success, and towards spiritualism and survival from a world collapsing into chaos. I mean, all you got to do is open your eyes and you can see we're already collapsing in chaos. It is not a question of if it will happen, because it is happening right now. Mythologically, Hawaii is a small remaining portion of the ancient country of Lemuria, which was heart-based. Atlantis in the Atlantic Ocean was technical and scientifically based. The future of the world requires more heart-based learning, more community spirit, and more public participation in governance. Governance is very important. Just doesn't get ignored until you grow up and are registered to vote. It needs to be taught in schools what governance is about. Schools need to teach governance so society can keep improving and no one becomes or feels disenfranchised, like most of us do. The social economic gap needs to close. It is not communism. Rather, it is communityism. People start screaming, communism, communism. Really? It's like this, the gap. Wealthy, not wealthy. The wealthy give up a little, the not wealthy gain a lot. The wealthy give up a little more, the not wealthy gain a lot. A little more, a lot. This is community. This is separateness. This is separation. Community versus separation. The future depends on a sense of community and a practice of community. Food is freedom. Hawaii has a year-round growing season. Thousands of acres of agricultural land is set aside by the U.S. military, the state, and the federal government that is not growing food. The state annual budget allocates a fraction of 1% for agriculture. Roughly 8% of the state's agricultural lands are growing food. 8% of the state's agricultural lands are growing food. This must change. Good farming land takes several years to develop healthy soil and produce healthy, bountiful crops. We need thousands of more fruit trees to be planted over the next few years, and which take 5 to 10 years to become productive. We must do our best to stop relying on the mainland as our primary food source. Hawaii is a slave to food from the mainland, just the same as Puerto Rico is now. Puerto Rico, when it became a territory, American businessmen, investors swept in, bought up all the land, started growing sugar. They destroyed the agricultural economy base that Puerto Rico had. And now Puerto Rico, just like Hawaii, relies on 80% of their food sourced from the mainland continent. We need more private garden boxes, and we should begin, where practicable, turning more of our grass yards into vegetable gardens. There are some countries that do this, and in different neighborhoods, neighbors get together and each household grows a certain crop, and then they share it amongst themselves, amongst their neighbors. I was born and raised in Eugene, Oregon, and have always loved America. Everyone is responsible for standing up for truth and justice. Although you are responsible for promptly obeying all legal orders issued by your leaders, you are obligated to disobey an order to commit a crime. Participating in overthrowing the legitimate Hawaiian monarchy was a crime and remains a crime. We are all living on stolen land. The Committee of Safety, backed by the U.S. Marines and approved by the United States, illegally overthrew the sovereign Hawaiian monarchy. As a member of the United States Congress or governor, every decision I make will be based on maintaining justice and restoring righteousness to the United States of America, wherever, whenever, and however possible, including resolving the sovereignty issue of Hawaii. Restoring righteousness means undoing, where we can, the wrongs we committed. We are experiencing nationhood karma from taking over, from killing, murdering, marauding the continent, destroying Native American lives, to this. We are now descending into chaos. And maybe it'll be over with in a few years. We won't exist as a leading world nation. Now being stolen through gentrification for a second time. When I was running for the U.S. Senate, the Civil Beat asked me a series of questions. This is my response to the first question on July 14th. What is the biggest issue facing Hawaii, and what would you do about it? My answer was, the biggest issue facing Hawaii is gentrification. Wealthy High-income people and foreign investors are paying increasingly higher prices for real estate and other products. And like in Kaka'ako, they're buying these million-dollar units, condos, never seeing them and never coming there. The doors never even get unlocked, just to transfer their money out of their third world country into the United States, where they thought it would be safe. No guarantees. This drives housing costs, land, and commercial real estate prices up, and all other products and services. This is a result of an outdated, out of control, capitalistic, socioeconomic system which is creating an ever-widening gap between the wealthy and elite. We just went over this. As long as we are tied to this capitalistic, profit-driven model, there is not much that can be done to prevent lower-income people being forced off the islands and being replaced with wealthy elite. That's what's happening here. A solution could be for Hawaii and the United States to conduct a prototype experiment based on outgrowing capitalism. Hawaii would be established as a sovereign kingdom nation with its own monetary system. The United States would be a safety net for both sovereignty and this futuristic, democratic, non-capitalistic, socioeconomic system that could positively impact the entire world. This is a way for Hawaii to be of service to itself, to the United States, and to the world. Hawaii needs to control immigration and land use rules and regulation. It does not need to be guided by the United States. Hawaii can develop policies better suited for its needs without oversight from the United States. However, a healthy collaboration and partnership relationship would benefit both Hawaii and the United States and can positively impact the world. That's it. Today, I recommend this book, A Compassionate Civilization. And in here, chapter 3, I just wrote some of the chapter topics. Environmental sustainability, gender equality, socioeconomic justice, participatory governance, cultural tolerance, and peace and nonviolence. That's just one little chapter. You got to read this book. You got to be responsible. You got to do something here, Hawaiian people. Take part. Read this book. Aloha, mahalo. Have a nice weekend.